Okay, so this is not necessarily technology based, but I feel as it kind of blends with the general theming of advancements of where we are as a society, for better or for worse. So I don't know if y'all heard about this or anyone's familiar with this. I haven't even looked into the full like how. I mean, it says the University of Arkansas is looking into it, so I guess we have some level of credence. But Salute Dexter, uh, this post from a while back now. A new study has shown that raccoons are showing early signs of domestication. Yes, I read that right. The University of Arkansas found that urban raccoons have smaller snouts, a sign of domestication syndrome. Look at that, you learn something new every day. So,
Syndrome.
again, these topics, I don't think anything's, although we kind of spent a little time on the AI thing, I don't think there's anything worth deep diving on, but I'm super curious to know what you guys think of this. In terms of domestication, we have the basics. We have cats, dogs, birds, some reptiles, and I think people don't necessarily often think about like, I think, oh wait, are cattle and farm animals considered domesticated as well?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, outside of like farm animals, we think of the general animals that we have domesticated. I don't think we often think about like domesticating other things. I know some. I know uh what you call it. Wealthy people and people of certain regions, they have like lions for pets and big cats. But obviously, I don't think by and large we think of those as domesticated. Some people have monkeys. I don't know what even the social view on that. But as far as new animals to be domesticated, I don't know if people often think about that, but apparently we have signs of evolution in raccoons in particular. And I guess without getting too philosophical, what do we think about the idea of other animals, I guess, such as raccoons, being domesticated? Or do we believe that do we have the general belief that the more the merrier, like everything that walks, breathes, flies should be domesticated? Or is this kind of creepy and y'all have no desire for a pet raccoon? We'll start with you, Ace. What do you think?
I mean, it seems to be a natural thing. Like, it doesn't seem like they're saying that people are uh, deliberately trying to have raccoons as pets, and that's why they're becoming domesticated. They're just becoming domesticated because they're in urban environments. So,
We might
I
have to do some
mean,
research, but that's still human caused.
yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, on from the perspective of humans are going to be in places, like humans are going to live in places, and those places are going to encroach on natural habitats, whatever, of these animals. I think it's kind of there's not much you can do about it per se. Like it's just going to happen. Um, so I'm not necessarily like I can't. It's hard to be against something that's just going to happen regardless. Um, I don't even know how you would prevent it. Like you can't really say people like
Exterminate.
uh, cities can't exterminate. What?
And or bringing a prey. That's a
Why?
I don't know
No, why would you want to do that though?
if you don't want it to be domesticated.
Why not? So you kill them all? Like well, that seems insane to me. What?
I
If from my
mean,
perspective, somebody who doesn't want them to be domesticated would be like, "Oh, it's a bad thing that humans are, encroaching on their territory." And you're saying kill them all? Like that? That's not what
okay. Oh, okay.
that person would go
I like
to.
when I bring up example. I'm just answering your question. Obviously, you could just like um put down not traps but anti raccoon related material things like
So
I'm sure
prevent
there's
them from getting into places where people are.
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, but I guess, but I just for me personally, like I don't necessarily think I can be for or against something that's just recurring. I mean, occurring like supernaturally. I don't think there's any way to any uh, uh realistic way to control that.
Maybe we have to
Um,
do a bit of homework because while this does make it seem like it is happening, like there's a natural progression with industrialization, modernization, urbanization. I don't know, some Asian. Is that how it's worked for other animals? It seems like there was some high level of intentionality with other animals.
For
All
sure.
farm related animals for sure.
Yeah.
Cats might have been
Dog
actually more
cats.
natural, but I think dogs. There was a point in time where people started like actually making use of like dogs that were in the wild.
Yeah, literally
Mhm.
dog breeding.
Yeah.
That whole
Mhm.
thing.
Yep. Yeah, they bred them for the
So I
purpose of it.
wonder. And by the way, I was gonna wait till later, but to be honest, while it's usually a people of a more lower quality of life, I've definitely seen people have raccoons on leashes.
Mm.
It's not gonna be. It's probably gonna be in the ghetto, but I've definitely seen people with raccoons on leashes.
Yeah, but I don't know, from the actual standpoint of people having raccoons as pets, I don't really have a problem with it any more than like I don't necessarily see why it's any better or worse than dogs or cats.
You
Like,
put raccoons in the same category as a cat?
yeah, I don't I mean, once you domesticate them and like if you can train it so it's not going into
You just
people's
offended a lot of
trash,
cat owners
like
out there.
you said?
You just offended a lot of cat owners out there.
Yeah, if you could train it and it's essentially this acts the same as any other pet, I don't see what's the difference. Like, I don't see the
I mean,
problem
it
at all.
depends on its level of intelligence. Going back to the intelligence of specific animals in conversation.
Yeah, it does depend on how much of a nuisance it becomes. If if it's not a nuisance, essentially, there's like the animal itself. It's an animal. Like there's so many different pets that people have. Like a hamster is essentially a rat. Like
Now you're offending the
there's not
hamster
much
owners.
difference. There's not much different. Hamster, gerbil, rat, mouse. Like I don't. It's whatever.
I'll probably come back to some of that stuff. What about you? What do you think? What do you think when you hear this? Is this alarming? Is this, like make sense to you? Or are you? Would you be cool with a raccoon pet? Raccoon.
It is what it is, but I don't want any pets. So I think the yeah, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't do much to to me. Like I think I think I don't
If
really
you went to one of
understand
your home, if you went to
domestication.
one of your
Ah,
homegirls' house, and they had a pet raccoon, and I don't think it would be in a cage, and it was just chilling on that couch, you'd be comfortable.
you gonna pet that pet raccoon? Comfortable? No, not necessarily, but like Ace was saying, domestication involves oh, I did read a little bit, but domestication involves less aggressiveness and a smaller build and everything.
Yeah, but
And so,
we've all seen a pet dog bite.
which is true. But I think I'd be just as comfortable with a cat. Yeah,
You be as
go with
comfortable
Ace.
as a raccoon with a cat?
Yeah,
What are y'all
I
talking
don't know.
about right now? There's no way. If y'all pull up to my house and I had a pet raccoon, y'all are petting it and not looking at me sideways.
I'm not petting the
Come on.
cat. Cats are
I
vindictive.
am.
I don't like
am.
cats.
You're petting
I
that pet
am.
raccoon.
Yes. Once I know, it's like, oh, this is your pet. Like,
What would you
yeah,
name a
Dog.
raccoon?
Yeah, it's
pet it.
a
Oh,
pet. You tell me it's
like-
a pet. It's a pet.
bro,
Like,
Oh my god. Y'all capping, bro. Y'all
I'm not
cap.
capping.
I'm not petting.
You're
I'm not petting the raccoon.
I don't
but-
see the difference between a raccoon and any other domesticated animal, and I'm
I
willing
think
to
the-
pet
the-
any other domesticated animal.
Yeah, except
The
the
only
raccoons are known disease carriers, rabies,
The
spreaders.
only
It's
thing-
domesticated.
He got his shots.
Then.
The only thing
You can still get domesticated dogs and cats can still freaking get
Exactly.
Okay, so don't pet
Dogs
the
and
dog or
cats can
cat.
be just as dangerous, and I'm still
Exactly.
willing to pet them.
The only thing that I will say is that the nature of a raccoon, I'm not sure what to compare it to, but that's it. Like, I know that cats
Aren't they
are
technically
usually
bears?
docile, but they can be vindictive. dogs are usually playful, but they can be dangerous. Like I have a sense. Raccoons typically are just mischievous and get in your trash can, but that's not necessarily domestic, and I don't know what they're like in a domestic setting. So that's the only thing that makes it different. But once I know that y'all are cool with the thing, I'm not necessarily, like I said, I'm not necessarily petting it. I'm not necessarily being around it, but it's your animal. Like I'm on the record. I don't want any animal, so I wouldn't keep a pet. Period. So I'm not the person that's gonna be like, oh, I would like my dog, but not not a raccoon. No, I'm not in that camp of having pets. But yeah, it would just depend on the nature of the animal that I'm not quite sure about for a domesticated raccoon. But it doesn't do anything to me. That's fine if y'all want to do that.
Damn. That's messed up. We're gonna follow up and ask, is there any animals that y'all would like to see more domesticated? I'm like, you don't really care.
No. I guess dangerous ones that hurt people. I guess. But
bears?
Wait. So I think we're getting confused. Domestication doesn't just mean immediately the animal is completely friendly and harmless. Like we hear the stories of quote unquote domesticated monkeys and stuff tearing their owners' faces off.
Yes.
An animal's nature is innate into itself, and yet you can try to domesticate some animals, but people will claim domestication even if it's not actually happening. So
I'm not saying active domestication. I'm saying because they call it domestication syndrome, and I don't think that the raccoons. They didn't say that this is people doing this domestication process. It's that they're in proximity to people and they're becoming more docile and becoming more domesticated. If it's a case where the animals are around people and they're dangerous animals and they typically hurt people, but now they're showing trends of domestication, I think that's fine. I think that's probably better for the interaction between those animals and the people. I'm not saying we should go find the animals and try to bring them into our houses, to be clear.
Dang. To go to what you're saying, I wonder if a person should be like the animals they don't like. That's the ones that should be domesticated. Because I've seen people with pet skunks. I've definitely seen people with pet skunks. If we could get to a point where skunks don't spray people, that'd be pretty lit.
The literal biological function.
Well, they
spray not against people.
Yeah, they spray
not against people, but domesticated dogs aren't supposed to go to the bathroom in the house, and they still do it.
Understand why you keep doing that.
Like that's.
What do you believe about dogs? That people shouldn't have them?
I mean, I'm joking, but my whole stance is that I think there's some animals that even if they're claimed science domestication, they are never going to truly be domesticated because, again, an animal's nature is.
What animal do you think can be domesticated then?
This is a scientific term, though.
they're saying early signs, bro.
No, but I'm saying they call it domestication syndrome. It has markers. Like if there's a point where people say scientifically this animal is domesticated.
Now
your argument is a different
argument. I'm skeptical against them scientifically claiming it because I'm sure there's been studies in domestication syndrome. There's other quote unquote domesticated pets, and then they end up going to destroying their owners or doing something crazy because
they probably actually have not.
That doesn't seem to be a criteria.
A dog that is domesticated and attacks its owner because it just wilds out, it's still a domesticated dog.
Yeah,
it doesn't get undone because it temporarily.
It's also an anomaly.
Yeah, we don't look at domestication on an individual basis. We don't look at one wild dog as dogs are not domesticated.
Correct. Yes, it's an anomaly, but that anomaly is an anomaly because it's a domesticated animal that has an outlier case. I'm saying that if you're claiming that these other types of animals, a raccoon or a monkey, if they claim domestication, people claim that they domesticated wild tigers. But it's not an anomaly if it turns out and annihilates.
You don't claim to domesticate an individual.
You can tame an animal. Creature. Exactly. You can tame an individual. Exactly.
An individual animal can, like you said, act according to its innate nature any day of the week.
Domestication, as they said, the snout smaller, like it involves physical markers a lot of the time. If you take a tiger today and you domesticate it, it's not necessarily going to show like physical changes in its. Well, maybe it gets a little bit smaller because it is not eating the same things or whatever. But it's not like a biological change in the species. I think that's the difference.
Well, you're saying it's not a biological change in the species?
I'm saying if you take one and you tame it, you tame it. But if you're saying if they're talking about domestication, it seems to be a more generational thing. Like these raccoons are showing biological changes in the trends of their actual biology. It's not just we took one raccoon in and now it's domesticated.
They can claim the species all they want.
They can claim it.
I'm skeptical. I don't care.
I think you're talking about ownership of the animal more so.
Yeah. You're talking about ownership because we're literally like they're literally saying the snout.
Well, I'm also
like
but it could just be a different.
The snout.
It could be literally just still a wild raccoon, and they claim it's domestic. How is that crazy?
That's crazy.
What? How is that?
No,
crazy?
I mean
that's
you're saying the entire
you're saying
field of biology don't know.
No, you're saying that
don't
it's
know how to
crazy.
Classify it anymore.
How many species and how many different animals and all that are being discovered to this? Well, to be fair, not that much, but it could just be like a scientist isn't familiar with the specific species. How is it? What do you mean that's crazy?
Of course, they're like tagging them. They're tagging them and observing them.
This would not get to this point of like you're making articles about it unless an extensive level of research.
Oh, you're telling me that people don't lie on the internet? They wouldn't just make an article that's not accurate.
No, I don't think the University of Arkansas is lying. No, that's not my base assumption.
They could just be publishing this early signs. It's a new study that doesn't have anything definitive.
Now we can't just challenge. If you don't want to believe something,
we can challenge the concept, but you're gonna have to strengthen your understanding of the subject, as we all do. But you're going kind of far for the challenge.
Y'all
haven't read the documentation.
Come on,
y'all haven't either.
You're on the Wikipedia page right now. Okay, it's Wikipedia, but it's a thing like.
No. Hold on. Let's all settle down for a second. We're like, the podcast is relatively like hunky dory. We're keeping things light. Yes, we obviously deep dive and research when in as much as possible, but we should not take a headline or article where they say a university is looking into this and based assumption not believe it. I don't think we want to be in that type of environment.
Well, I'm not saying that the university is lying. I'm saying that it's preemptive for them to be claiming this when it could be something that has verifiably happened where the
thing is they
think that it's a new species and it's really not a new species.
Ghost, your question should be
like when domestication
what
happens.
Is domestication?
Not like they're basing it off what happened to dogs over time when they were domesticated. What happened to cats over time when they were domesticated.
Over the span of friggin' thousands of however many years.
We've had raccoons in cities for a long time, I'm pretty sure.
Like you believe that at this point, point of like the life cycle of Earth, if something's changing, we've seen it enough times for it to make sense what's happening. You believe that. We can assess based off patterns, based off trends.
We can, but I'm also saying that there have been cases where they think, not in the specific case of domestication, but where they think they found a new species, but it's really a subset of a species that already existed. And I'm saying this could
be that would be an interesting rebuttal if you did the research. Okay,
so wait, no.
Oh my God,
we just.
No, I'm saying seriously, that would be something if you made. I'm being kind of facetious. If you made a YouTube video on that or wrote an article on that, it would be interesting to me.
So I gotta make the YouTube video, and y'all can look at some friggin' Twitter post where it claims a new study showing early signs.
That's why
no definitive.
what is
documentation.
domestication syndrome and what is this about? And I just tried to read a little bit so I could speak a little bit intelligently. And it seems to be a thing. And there's a classification. They have reasoning behind it. It's not arbitrary to say. And it's not just the fact that we're putting them in our house. It seems like it's not just that humans are saying, "Oh, we're going to breed them this way," necessarily. So that being the case, if that is true, I leave the caveat because I'm not a biologist. I'm not an expert in this at all. But if that is the case, that domestication syndrome is a thing with traits that can be identified and specified and done, science can be done on it, then what it sounds like it's saying is that these raccoons are showing those signs. That's it. It's not saying anything necessarily more than that. As far as should we have them as pets or should we? That's our questions. But
man, it sucks. I kind of want to be wrapping up around this time. One other quick angle I wanted to touch on. And we gotta bring it back to we have the B1 podcast. And you know what's crazy? I don't know if I dreamed this because I dream about us podcasting, or if I asked you guys this. Did I ever ask you guys? Do you believe that there are some diseases that, from a biblical, spiritual, religious connotation, however you want to frame it, aren't meant to be curable?
I think we did talk about this. Yeah.
And by that logic, if you believe that there are some that should not, would you guys say that there are some animals that are meant to be just innately dangerous, like that what's the brother's name? Caleb. Oh, I forgot. Caleb. His video on wasps. Those killer wasps.
Oh my god, that's a classic.
Absolutely yes. Like most times, animals a certain way.
No. I mean, it depends. How far back we going? We're talking after Adam and Eve or before?
What?
Right. No, that's a great point.
I said before.
You got to explain that point to me because I don't understand.
Because man wasn't created. According to the Bible, man was not created to be mortal or to die. So with the question about the diseases, if men originally stayed in his proper function,
I thought you were talking about
the animals.
I thought we were talking about the animals thing.
I'm gonna get to that too. No, I'm gonna get to that too. I believe the same thing. I believe that there was teeth of wild beasts for punishment and things like this, but that was in relation to death. And then you have in Revelations talking about the lion laying down with the sheep and going back to basically the perfect order that was in the Garden of Eden. I don't believe that there was necessarily predation in the same way. It's not it's not a concrete fact. It's not a concrete thing that we could say that's a fact, but it's not or I should say it's not part of the word to say that there was predation in the Garden of Eden. And
so you think there's potential that in the Garden of Eden there was I guess I get the point, but get your point. But it's kind of moot because I don't want to say it's moot because it's definitely valid. But for the purposes of our argument, like literally most recorded histories after that, I guess.
Yeah. No, I feel you, and I think there's an expedience for it. Yes, after that instance, but no, I was just saying it to say that that's not necessarily what God wanted according to Scripture.
You just made me think of a very interesting question. How long were Adam and Eve like alive before the fall?
I mean,
it could have been thousands of years.
Did it give?
It definitely didn't give.
I don't think
after the creation, it didn't give a time frame. I don't think.
Or Adam's age, like
Adam's age.
Oh, that he died?
There's a possibility that they gave his death age.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, they probably did actually.
I don't know. They give a lot of death ages in the Old Testament, but I don't. Because this usually they have like the whole pages of the genealogy.
Yeah,
And then
this,
they say when the person dies, but would they have?
I think it was 930. If Google is
Yeah, I'm saying that too. Yeah, right.
Yeah, trust that AI.
I wonder what we.
I mean
wonder what,
that could be post fall potentially, but
Oh,
there's actually a
well,
how was his age determined since he was a? Actually, that's another good question. How was his age determined since he was already a full-grown man when God created him? Yeah, so he was never a child, which is also it's another interesting thing to think about. But I would think that his age
Alright,
would
my
be
bad.
930.
we don't know what classifying as child. We don't technically know what age they were created. We just know they probably would have had to have been of age when Eve was created.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to go down the whole biblical rabbit hole, but yeah, it is interesting to think about, because if we're saying that this type of thing is happening naturally or somewhat naturally with progression, I wonder if there's anything that could be domesticated that was never meant to be.
Bigfoot. No, I'm just...
Leviathan.
If raccoons, the moral of the story for me,
Never
if
meant to
raccoons
be
end up really
domesticated.
doing be like fully domesticated, I think bears would be like somewhat next, because bears cause too much trouble.
Good luck. Good luck.
But
The Russians already did it.
yo, you ever see those yo, bears be super cool Russians. I don't know, they got the sauce. Yeah. Anyway,
Y'all are killing me. There's no way you actually think that a bear, if a bear showing signs of domestication syndrome, that y'all taking that at face value. Come on.
Dog, it's just
What?
two different questions.
Yes.
Can the bear be domesticated? Yes. Would I have a bear as a pet? Probably not. Like,
I'm saying
No,
you
wait.
can't
Ghost.
saying the bear could
Ghost.
possibly be domesticated.
Ghost.
if it has the
Ghost.
snout reduction, if
Ghost.
it's
Oh my
literally
God.
biologically
We're done.
changing,
Ghost.
then
we went over
I don't
this.
think a
We went over
Ghost.
this. It would be literally just.
I don't care
Ghost.
what study.
Ghost. If
biological
biologists
markers.
determine that the snout has to be smaller, the claws have to be smaller, if they say 5 things, whatever, classify this as domestication. This is the term that we're applying to this collection of traits. How are you saying it's by definition?
I'm telling you, if a scientist tells me that it's showing those 5 traits of domestication for a bear, I'm not believing them. I don't care if they're claws.
They didn't say.
By the way,
Look at it. What if
By
it's
the way,
something
going back
like
to what
the
you were saying
bear,
earlier,
the bear
it
loses
was-
its arms,
that's-
and you see the bear lost its arms, like they just
somebody's
don't have
combating you with that, like
You're
I
gonna
just
be
don't
like,
believe
"Oh, it's
it.
not domesticated."
You're right.
What
You're
are
like,
you
no, you
talking about?
Wait,
Ghost,
Ace, I don't
I think
understand.
you
What do
don't
the
get it.
arms, missing arms, have to do
Ghost.
with it? It's not
That's
necessarily
what I'm
about the
saying. I'm
danger
using
that
an
it poses.
extreme example of biological changes, but they're saying these biological changes indicate that the thing is domesticated. If it was something extreme as if a bear loses its arms, then we can it just stops having arms. The bears keep you keep having bear babies with no arms. Okay, that's domesticated, and you're gonna be like,
You're probably a smaller.
no, it's not domesticated, even though you can see it has no arms. Like that's what you're arguing against, biological facts that define the term domestication.
Yes, I'm 100% arguing against that because you can't definitively. For one, I know you were dramatic with the arms thing, but
hold on.
an animal is an animal, bro. We have animals in the
He's
Bible
in a way that is just clear cut. In this change has happened.
Ghost.
Y'all acting like. Sorry,
No,
Ghost,
listen. We're saying that by definition, a triangle has 3 sides. If you see a triangle and you say, it has 4 sides, or I don't believe that it always has 3 sides. We just define the triangle. We can't we can't talk about more numbers of sides or less numbers of sides. It's a term that's defined within biology. Whether
I have a counterpoint for your argument.
All
right, I'll make this quick. I have a counterpoint. I see a sphere, and the scientist says no, this is actually a circle because it distributes the characters of a circle, but it's really a sphere. It's just we don't have all the information to showcase what it actually is. And tying back to this point, there can be signs saying these signs of domestication, blah blah blah. It could just literally be a different subspecies of the same animal that's not domesticated at all.
Okay, I'm not laughing because your point's not somewhat based in some type of logic. I'm laughing because there is.
Reasonably, whatever. I'm not logical. I don't care. I'm not changing my stance, even if you claim I'm wrong, which I might would be, but I don't care. Not to see a raccoon. That's my moral of the story, and I know y'all moral of the story is that I'm bugging. So
no, it's simply a thing where it's a question of how do we define this word? Does this word make sense? And what is the popular definition? What is your definition? What is your interpretation of the word? What there's two different things going on.
Or are people just applying this word or this phrase to something that it doesn't really apply to?
But that's not.
Are people doing it? All the same. Maybe we'll bump into maybe we'll come back in. I don't know how long domestication takes. With probably a whole generation. Maybe we'll come back in 20 years and it'll be fully. We'll see full progress with this. As of right now,
and maybe I'm wrong about the definition of domestication or the fact that it is distinctly defined within the field of biology because I'm not a biologist. But that's how I understand it.
As of right now, unless there's anything else, we can move on to the next topic.
Oh shit, that's me. I forgot that I'm looking at this freaking domestication study because I wanna get some basis because I have a feeling that study is.
All right, so